next we're going to be covering the checklist tool. So the checklist is a great way for you to highlight, important or required assignments or readings for students. You can kind of create this checklist, and then you can add the items that students need to do to complete it. So each checklist can contain one or more categories. So maybe you have, a checklist of items to complete in the course. One of the categories could be assignments to complete, quizzes to complete, discussions to complete. And then these individual checklist items are organized into these categories. So to get started, we're going to have to access the checklist tool. So from inside a class, I'll select class tools, and then I'll select checklist. Now I'm going to come to the checklist area. To create a new checklist, I would simply create a new checklist selecting this button. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you a checklist that's already created. So here you see I have a description. I have different things that I've asked to be completed. So I can go ahead and as I complete things, I can just check them off and choose close. Now to create a new checklist, you'll choose new checklist. You'll put in a name. Maybe it's the final project checklist. You could put in a description here. And again, you can always, if you want to go ahead and do some formatting, choose the Advanced tab. And then here you can kind of choose different fonts. You could make some bullet points or some list for the student, or you could even attach an image or even a link maybe to a content item that you have. So I'm going to go ahead and choose Save. And I've got my final project checklist created. Now I can add categories and items. So I'm going to start by just creating a category for this checklist. Maybe this is written final project items. And I can put these are written items students need to complete, prior to complete the final project. So I would choose Save. And then I can actually create new items that would go under it. So maybe it's submit a draft maybe I'm going to have them submit a draft first. I could put in some instructions here, some more information, and then I could have like a due date. Like maybe this draft is going to be due on a specific date and time. And I can even display it in the calendar to give them yet another, notification there. So I'm going to choose Save. Okay, and now I can choose to create maybe another item. Maybe submit a final submit the final paper, something like that. Again, I can have another due date here, and I can display it in the calendar and choose Save. Now you'll notice on each of these that you also have some restriction items. So let's go ahead and let's look at here below categories and items. So I have the written project items and I have these items. If I want, from here I can create maybe another category. Maybe there's not just some written things. I could also have, some discussion board tasks. Maybe they need to also post to the discussion board for their final project. So under here, I can create another item, and I could say, post to discussion board. And I could have a due date here. Maybe that they need to post on a certain date, display in the calendar, and choose Save. And so now, as you see here, this last one that I did not go there. So what I can just do is select this, and I'm going to choose the category. And I want this to be under discussion because I'm asking them to post. So that's how you would kind of reorder an item. So as you can see, I'm going to go ahead and preview this for you. This is how, so I have maybe a final project list. I have the description here for the students. And then the students can see, oh, these are the written items that I'm going to need to complete this and this. Oh, and this is a discussion board task. So this is a great tool that you can use to highlight required course tasks for students. Or it can be used as a way to spell out steps of a specific process for your students. So this concludes the checklist tutorial.